The hippopotamus. If you live anywhere near water in sub-Saharan Africa, the animal most likely to kill you isn't a lion, a leopard, or a crocodile. It's a grazing herbivore that spends 10 hours a day standing in the shallows eating grass. 500 people every year, and the reason has nothing to do with hunger. Adult hippos weigh 3,000 to 4,000 pounds, submerge with only eyes and nostrils above the waterline, and will charge any boat that enters their stretch of river. The jaws open 150 degrees. The bite force lands around 1800 psi. On land, they sprint 20 miles an hour, which is faster than you. The reason they're like this comes down to the river. Hippos need water access constantly because their skin cracks in the sun, and a stretch of shallows is non-negotiable real estate. Anything that enters it, boat, person, crocodile, is competing for a resource they can't afford to lose. Evolution looked at a 4,000-pound vegetarian and decided what it needed was the temperament of a bouncer who skipped lunch. Most people assume the wide-open mouth in tourist photos is a yawn. It's not. The yawn is the threat display, the hippo telling you that you have about 3 seconds to leave. If you double the weight of an SUV, you've got a hippo. If that SUV could run faster than you, sprint into water faster than you, and bite through hardwood like balsa, you've got a hippo. 500 dead humans a year, all of them killed by something that only eats grass. Hippos don't back down. That's the whole ecology. The river is theirs, and everything else is welcome to die in it. Statistically, the safest African predator to encounter while alone is the lion. The cassowary. Australia's deadliest animal isn't a snake, a shark, or a saltwater crocodile. It's a 6-foot flightless bird that looks like a velociraptor wearing a clown wig, and it has a single weapon nature has kept perfectly intact for 60 million years. You don't see it until the bird is already in the air. Adults stand 5 to 6 feet tall, weigh up to 130 pounds, and sprint 31 miles an hour through dense rainforest. The inner toe carries a 5-inch claw shaped like a fixed-blade knife. Imagine if a turkey owned a switchblade and had unresolved trauma. The body design is built around one technique, a forward-leaping double kick where the legs deliver enough force to pivot the bird's whole weight onto the claw. The brain isn't strategic. It doesn't need to be. The animal is a single-purpose weapon that happens to also raise chicks. Picture your fingernail. Now picture a fingernail bigger than a kitchen knife. Now picture it mounted on a thigh that can drive it through plywood. There's documented footage of a cassowary kicking a hole in a corrugated steel fence. The world's most dangerous bird headline gets thrown around a lot, but turns out confirmed human deaths are rare. 2 in the last century. The reputation comes from the mechanism, not the body count. When a cassowary does commit, the damage lands closer to a knife wound than a peck. It's the only animal on this list that looks like it should be selling you a used car and absolutely is not. It's one of the few animals on Earth that's dangerous specifically because it never learned what humans are. Some animals are built to flee. Others are built to take it personally. The Wolverine. There's an animal in the snowy half of North America that weighs less than a Labrador, looks like a tiny bear, and has been documented chasing wolves off frozen elk carcasses. Not running away, chasing them. The largest member of the weasel family lives most of its life alone in the snow, and what it does to defend a kill has rewritten what biologists thought a small mammal could pull off. Adults weigh 20 to 55 pounds. A single home range covers up to 240 square miles. The skull and jaw are built to crack frozen bones other scavengers can't access, and there's documented footage of wolverines displacing black bears, wolves, and cougars from their own kills. It's 20 pounds of refusing to read the room. The wolverine occupies country where calories are rare and frozen solid, and backing down from a kill isn't an option. The body is thick and low to the ground. The bite is engineered for bone, and the brain runs one calculation. This food is mine now, and the math on letting it go is worse than the math on fighting. Its territory covers an area the size of Rhode Island. Its body is the size of a medium dog. Its attitude is the size of nothing in the animal kingdom. because nothing in the animal kingdom has been recorded telling a black bear to leave a moose carcass and getting away with it. Nature built it like a feral toaster and gave it the personality to match. It's the only North American mammal where the bear is the one being polite. If you're into animal deep dives like this one, I post new ones regularly, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Thanks. The saltwater crocodile. Most of Southeast Asia and northern Australia shares its rivers with an animal that's been hunting things shaped like humans since before there were humans. Its bite isn't the world's strongest because it has the biggest jaw. It's the world's strongest because of one specific architectural choice in the skull. The largest specimens exceed 23 feet and 2,000 pounds. The bite force has been measured at 3,700 pounds per square inch, the strongest of any living animal. They hold their breath underwater for 2 hours at a time, lying motionless, and they're attributed to hundreds of human deaths every year across their range. Researchers measured the bite force using a steel meat probe, and the crocodile broke the probe. That was the data point. The jaw muscles attached to a reinforced ridge along the back of the skull, converting almost all the muscle force into closing pressure. The death roll often gets described as a drowning technique. Turns out crocs roll because their teeth grip but can't cut, and the roll twists limbs off at the joint after the bite has already locked. Drowning is incidental. It's been doing this for 200 million years. Before mammals had inner ears, before flowering plants existed, this animal was already in this river, waiting for something stupid to come drink. 3,700 pounds per square inch of bite force, enough to crush a sea turtle's shell. Its hunting strategy has been described as be in the water. The hippo refuses to back down out of territory. This one refuses to back down out of patience. It waited 200 million years for you specifically to walk near the riverbank. It's the only predator on Earth where the strategy is to do nothing for a decade and let your prey forget you exist. The wild boar. There's an animal currently expanding its range into European suburbs at a rate the EU can't legislate fast enough. It weighs as much as a refrigerator, runs faster than you, and has 2 curved razors permanently mounted on its face. It's the only large mammal on this list that's more dangerous now than it was 100 years ago, and the reason is something humans did to its food supply on purpose. Adult males reach 440 pounds. The lower tusks are 4 inches long and self-sharpening. Top speed, 30 miles per hour through forest terrain. The charge pattern is head down, tusk slash upward into the upper thigh and abdomen. It's a furniture-sized pig with knives in its face and a grudge about something. The aggression scales with food security and group size. As European agriculture provided steady calorie surpluses and predator removal eliminated wolves and bears, boar populations swelled and confidence with them. The tusks aren't for defense, they're for offense, angled to slice up and forward in a single head jerk motion. The animal is built to commit to one strike, one slash, femoral artery, 6 minutes. Modern wild boar in Europe now show no flight response to human voices. There are German towns where the boars dig up cemeteries because the soil is softer. The population has roughly tripled across Europe in the last 30 years. Imagine a barbecue running at you full speed with personal opinions. It's the only large mammal in Europe whose population is exploding specifically because humans removed everything that used to be scarier than it was. Most species pick their fights. A few species are the fight. The Black Caiman. The largest predator in the Amazon basin isn't a jaguar, an anaconda, or a giant otter. It's a 20-foot armored reptile that hunts at night using heat-sensing pits along its jawline. It's a member of the alligator family, not a crocodile, and the difference between those two families explains why this specific animal can do something jaguars can't. Adults reach 20 feet and exceed 1,200 pounds. Their eyes reflect a red glow from boat lights, and documented prey includes capybara, anaconda, and adult jaguar. Researchers identifying caiman's stomach contents have repeatedly logged adult jaguar, and then asked their advisor to double-check that wasn't a typo. The jaw architecture sits closer to a crocodile's than to other caimans, with high bite force per pound and a reinforced cranial ridge. The hunt is one ambush, one bite, one death roll, no second attempts. Caimans often get called crocodiles in pop culture. They're actually a separate family, Alligatoridae, not Crocodilidae, with shorter snouts, different jaw mechanics, and fully osteoderm-armored undersides. The Black Caiman is the one species in that family that grew large enough to compete with crocs on raw size. A jaguar can crush a caiman's skull. The Black Caiman is the one species of caiman where the math runs the other way. 20 feet of muscle and armor versus 150 pounds of cat. And the cat loses, regularly, on stomach content records from researchers in the field. In the Amazon, the cat is the one who has to be careful. It's the only animal on this list that eats the predator most people would assume is the predator, the leopard seal. There's a predator under the Antarctic ice that hunts everything else in its ecosystem: penguins, other seals, the occasional human researcher. It's 12 feet long, weighs up to 1,300 pounds, and there's no second-place predator in its zone. One of its hunting behaviors looked so brutal that early researchers refused to publish the footage. The skull is the largest of any seal relative to body size, built for jaw torque. They hunt alone, no pod structure, no cooperation. In 2003, a marine biologist named Kirsty Brown was dragged underwater by a leopard seal during a routine dive. She was 28 years old. She didn't surface. Its hobby is catch and release. The catch is a penguin. Researchers have filmed leopard seals catching penguins and then releasing them, catching them again, releasing them again, for over an hour before killing them. It's something biologists still can't fully classify. The teeth are shaped to do two jobs. The front canines tear, and the rear molars filter krill from water. The same mouth that strains shrimp is the mouth that grabbed a research diver. Under the Antarctic ice, there's no competition. The leopard seal grew up with no predator above it and limited prey diversity below it. The result is an apex hunter with no impulse to share, no instinct to flee, and no learned fear of humans. Nature made it 10 feet of teeth and then put it somewhere with no one around to tell it to stop. The hippo refuses to back down because it owns the water. The croc refuses to back down because it has the time. The leopard seal doesn't back down because nothing under that ice has ever made it. It's the only mammal on this list whose ecosystem has no answer for it: the honey badger. The Guinness Book of World Records gave one animal the title of most fearless animal on Earth. It's not a lion, it's not a wolverine, it's a 25-pound member of the weasel family that's been documented walking up to cobras at lunch. The name has become a meme, but the actual biology behind the reputation involves one very specific protein. Adults weigh 17 to 35 pounds. The skin is loose enough that the badger can twist 180 degrees inside its own coat while being bitten, biting back the entire time. The other piece is a tweak to the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor, which confers partial resistance to cobra and viper venom at the molecular target site. Imagine if your immune system also worked on bad decisions. The loose skin means anything biting the badger ends up with a mouthful of empty hide, while the badger pivots and bites back. The receptor mutation neutralizes most snake venoms before they can block nerve signals. Standard predator strategies: bite hard, bite once, hold, simply fail against it. Lions, stop trying. Hyenas, stop trying. One puff adder bite, 20 minutes of paralysis. Wake up, find the snake, finish eating it. There's video, researchers timed it. The badger eats the snake and the venom and walks away. The fearless label gets thrown around loosely. Turns out, the fearlessness is biochemistry and biomechanics, not psychology. It's one of the few animals where the cost-benefit math of fighting back consistently favors fighting back. 7 continents, 7 animals that refuse to back down. And then, the honey badger, whose entire body is built around the assumption that backing down was never going to be on the table. Its conflict resolution strategy is to win, every time, and then eat the snake about it. The honey badger is what nature looks like when it stops asking nicely. I post new animal deep dives like this every week. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.